Kakashi had more reason to become a villain than Obito and Sasuke. Obito went crazy when he lost Rin. The guy wanted to put the entire planet in a genjutsu and condemned an entire village to suffering over a woman who friend-zoned him. After all, everyone knows Rin's heart belonged to Kakashi. Then you could argue that, in Sasuke's case, he suffered more because he lost all his loved ones. Not to downplay it, but he only suffered once and lost everyone in a single blow. Meanwhile, Kakashi watched his father disconnect from the shinobi world. And the reason for his father's resignation weighed heavily on him. After that, it was a downward spiral. Kakashi saw his only friend kick the bucket. Even though his friend survived, Kakashi didn't know and suffered miserably. And as if one tragedy wasn't enough, shortly after, Kakashi struck Rin with a chidori to the chest. His best friend died and he killed the other. Want something worse? There's more. The last people he had left were snatched by the masked man, who released the Nine Tails and fled, causing the deaths of Kushina and Minato. In short, Kakashi had no shortage of reasons to become a villain. Kakashi had more reason to become a villain than Obito and Sasuke. Obito went crazy when he lost Rin. The guy wanted to put the entire planet in a genjutsu and condemned an entire village to suffering over a woman who friend-zoned him. After all, everyone knows Rin's heart belonged to Kakashi. Then you could argue that, in Sasuke's case, he suffered more because he lost all his loved ones. Not to downplay it, but he only suffered once and lost everyone in a single blow. Meanwhile, Kakashi watched his father disconnect from the shinobi world. Did Kakashi develop the Rasengan on his own, or did he need to copy it using the Sharingan? However, the truth is that Kakashi learned the Rasengan through his own merit. He did not need the Sharingan to master it. In fact, like Naruto, Kakashi learned the Rasengan at a very young age. By the time he was 13 or younger, he already knew how to use the Rasengan. To back up this claim, as you know, I always provide evidence, and in chapter 321 we see the context of Kakashi showing the Rasengan to Naruto. This happened because Naruto wanted to add a nature transformation to the Rasengan. Kakashi explains that there are two steps to achieving this. First, nature transformation, and second, shape manipulation. Naruto understands and asks if Kakashi has already mastered both. Kakashi confirms, and Naruto celebrates, saying it won't take long to complete his jutsu. He remarks that everything seems so easy. However, Kakashi responds that if that were the case, he wouldn't have needed to develop the Chidori. He then demonstrates the Rasengan and explains to Naruto that he was unable to combine the nature transformation of lightning release with the shape manipulation of the Rasengan. This failure led to the creation of the Chidori. If the Chidori was developed due to his inability to fully master the Rasengan, it means Kakashi learned the Rasengan before creating the Chidori. Kakashi developed the Chidori as a child, meaning this young Jonin was still a kid when he invented the Chidori. This already answers our question. The Chidori came after he learned the Rasengan, and he was using the Chidori before he even had the Sharingan. He learned it on his own. He didn't need a Kekkei Genkai to copy it. Why didn't Pain use Susanoo, even though he had the Rinnegan? Nagato was definitely the first and best user of this dojutsu, which he used to control the 6 paths of pain, and perform incredibly powerful jutsu like Shinra Tensei and Chibaku Tensei during the war. When Madara first appeared and revealed his ability to use the Rinnegan, there was a lot of confusion among fans about how the Rinnegan is obtained. Contrary to what people thought, the Rinnegan isn't a natural evolution of the Mangekyo Sharingan. It's actually a unique power tied to the Sage of 6 Paths. Each of Hagoromo's sons, Indra and Asura, inherited half of his power. When Madara combined his cells with Hashirama's, who was the reincarnation of Asura, he met the requirement to unlock the full power of the Sage of 6 Paths by merging their chakras. Susanoo is a Mangekyo Sharingan technique. Even though Nagato had the Rinnegan, he never had any Mangekyo powers, because the eyes he had weren't his, they were Madara's. Madara chose Nagato as a vessel because of his massive chakra reserves and superior vitality as a member of the Uzumaki clan. As we know, people who receive visual powers from someone else can't turn them off, which is exactly why Nagato was the perfect host. He had enough chakra to keep the Rinnegan active all the time without draining his reserves. Like I said earlier, the Rinnegan is a unique and independent power that doesn't develop from the Mangekyo Sharingan. It's its own form of dojutsu, directly tied to the legacy of the Sage of 6 Paths. The reason Madara could use Susanoo with the Rinnegan active is because he already had those powers beforehand.